I dedicate this video to the spring 2015 members of the Finger Lakes Community College Woodsmen's teams, and to all those woodsmen and woodswomen from all of the other New York State schools. Might my commentary serve to help all players improve technique. Team crosscut, Finger Lakes men. Start. Slight angle, tail of the saw, the far end, up 1/2 inch. Saw should be level and tipped away from the cant when it comes back up for the next cut. And go straight down. The lines help to line it up. You can see when you miss. Good run, fairly level. Drop shoulders, hook to raker on that. Decent handoff, level start. Good start. Decent run. Few glitches, 4 or 5 seconds of mistakes there. Team bow saw. That saw should run smooth, without chatter, without flutter. Frame straight over the cut. A gentle rock. Extreme care needs to be taken not to break the cookie off at the end and end up having to finish that little piece. Good to take a full cookie. The lines help to keep them uniform. Too thin a cookie runs you into trouble. Too thick a cookie uses up more than the allotment of wood. The 42 inches of blade on these saws, we're using about 20 right there, and broke the cookie off, needed to cut the bottom corner again. That chatter, flutter, practice, smooths it out. Another broken corner. Slightly better technique, more saw, still rough, not a good transition from front to back. There's the best sawyer there. Complete cookie.
Go! Come on, guys!
The endurance crosscut. Don't hit the cookie and break it. Oops, no, this is, beg your pardon, Jack and Jill crosscut. Move out of the way there. Whoa! Break! Tanner.
There you go.
Ben. Level saw prevents the stalls, prevents the hang up. Running it straight back and forth, not lifting the far end. That causes the rakers to hang and stall. I often refer to the rough running of the saw. It's the flutter-by bow saw. It's got to be steady, smooth, all the way. 100 cookies, good. 1,000, much better. Try to use half of arm motion and half body motion. If you come in with a saw, that's pretty good technique right there. You end up being able to apply a lot more pressure to the blade. If I had a nickel for every time I said whole saw, I'd have been able to retire 40 years ago. Now that all arms there should dip the shoulders and come in with it. Get about half arm motion, half upper body motion to put power and weight on the entire blade, the entire length of the run. That handoff is critical. To set it up right where it needs to go. Don't move it at all. Next person should continue to saw. There's 90% arms, 10% upper body. We could improve that. Decent run. Green team. The Paul Smith crowd, typically very well trained, very well practiced, tough competitors. They've got a great program up there in the Adirondacks and a beautiful place for a campus. I like their uniforms too. Little angle change there, raker hang up. Left-handed to right-handed handoff there is really good. Seven different schools competed at this meet. Here we do have the men's endurance crosscut. That hang-up was the consequence, I believe, of the saw going in the cut crooked at the very start. And trying to go around a corner, it just doesn't make it. Otherwise, a decent run. Level, almost the whole saw. Come in on it more, put more weight on the saw itself as you're coming in. Don't extend your arms out so far.
Hey, Mary, you're on.
Level saw prevents hang-ups, lifting up one end of the saw or dropping the other one. Now here, the problem is dropping shoulders as you start on the pull. That digs the raker in and just stalls it right there. As soon as that saw comes off level, the raker hangs up, and if you yank on it to start with and bury the raker, it's going to hang.
Mary, don't lift up your shoulders.
As she starts to pull, she drops down and yanks the raker right into the wood. Probably cut that one in half, time-wise. Standing block, I think the most dangerous event, requires more athletic ability and practice than any other event. To get the angle and the pattern, the right sequence, and to get a full swing. The swing for the upswing should start from the ground, rake the chips, but more often than not, you'll see folks bring that axe straight in. Start from about the shoulder on the upswing and end up with a flat entry point. Axe penetrates most efficiently at about 45 degrees. If you run it in 90, it stops just about dead.
No, do not try to get firewood here. Sweep them. No, keep up. Drive it, drive it, drive it, drive it.
The accuracy to get into the center of that cut right at the very end is essential as well. Our Jack and Jill team, standing block folks here, fairly inexperienced. Short swing, arms tucked in, not getting the full reach, the full length of the swing. Arms curled up, stretch out, be pulling on that axe with straight elbows and straight arms right when it hits. That was a straight in hit. Now, the accuracy necessary comes very slowly, takes a great deal of practice. You mark the lines and you need to follow the lines. Hitting too high or too low ends up wasting a lot of effort. Taking out huge chips requires more chip lifting force than following the lines. Massively powerful chopper, but needs to work on accuracy and focus on pattern. There's kind of random hits. The fire build contest is, as far as I'm concerned, requires intellectual perception more than almost any other event. The spacing of the wood, the arrangement is this needs to carry the flame. We're looking at red cedar here, which is quite dry, but it's very difficult to work with compared to the white cedar, which is often used for this contest.
Right there.
The Jack and Jill team starts out. Don't get your hands in. This is the bloodiest event of all. Usually not serious cuts, but people whack their hand as they're holding the log and swinging the axe at it. This is sometimes a one-person event, use one tool, a hatchet typically. Here we have a draw knife, trying to get shavings that will ignite quickly. This particular wood doesn't behave as well as basswood, which we've often used, or white cedar, which is the preferred wood, fastest igniting, easy to split. The metal booty on the foot to prevent chopping up your leather shoes, and peeling off the corners of this, trying to make a fuzz stick, a series of shavings that are still held together at the base. Requires practice and finesse. Starting a little fire mandates an understanding that heat rises. You ignite the fragment that's going to start the fire, and that's got to be underneath the rest of the fragments in order for the fire to carry. We have a fuzz stick here. Match, strike on the rough part of the peeling blade. In the frenzy of competition and the adrenaline rush, it's easy to break matches and knock the fire around. Now once it's very delicate to get that fire going to start with. If you knock it around at all, it brought a stick on and upset the entire process. They get it going quite well. Actually, they did very well in this event. Many people timed out, did not succeed in boiling the water over in the 10-minute time period. The real danger of having the fire burn out from underneath the can and have it fall over. One of the drawbacks, one of the possible tragedies of the water boil contest.
Keep blowing! Blow, 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 blow! Almost there! This time, blow!
Fire's hot. Cece looked like she'd been to a tanning salon after that event. Men's log roll. 3 pairs. Hit the logs on the way down, and if you can, turn it on course so that it hits the logs hits the posts on the way back. It requires quick maneuvering and looking ahead and moving back and forth along that log in order to make it line up, turn a bit on course, and hit the posts. 2 hits in a row. That's unusual. But they're turning it. They watch them move on either side. Another hit. Moving left, turn it back again. Watch ahead, see it roll straight. A 4th hit. A little bit of a hang up there on one of the knots, but both push together and shift quick, turn it. They got it. 6 hits. I think that might be the best log roll I've ever witnessed. Paul Smith's gentleman came up immediately afterwards and hit. Uh-oh, they're going fast. If they hit down here. They did. They made it. Okay, if we have 4 more hits, the Finger Lakes time is in jeopardy. Move, move. That spun a little too hard. Moved too far to one end. Missed the post, has to cross haul. Pull that PV sideways, right parallel to the log to get the hook out. Sometimes it gets stuck in and it's difficult to get it out. Another slight miss, another cross haul. Precious seconds added to the time here as a consequence of not turning it properly on the course. There's a little bit of luck involved here. Sometimes the log turns quickly, and it depends on when you hit it. If it's on a pivot point, that good. Get that PV out of there, turn it sideways, together, hit it, together, turn it, turn it. Look ahead, look ahead. Oop, a little too far to the left, ended up sharp turn, very end. Finger Lakes Jack and Jill, log roll gang, ready to go. They practice the log roll perhaps more than any other event, and it shows. They very close, but have to pick it up, cross haul, drag it back together. And then there's a high point. Hit it together and in such a way that it doesn't spin violently. That's ideal. Together, plant, and shove. If you get it together, both people hitting together, the force is much greater and it keeps rolling. You do have to shift. Now, at this point, hook it in. Move back quickly. It's turning too much on there. Oh, too much to the right. Look ahead, look ahead. Move, turn it, turn it, turn it. Looks good, looks good. Yes. Together, good together. Good, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Well done. Shove right on the heart. It looks like it didn't get turned quite enough on that. If they'd moved further to the right and hit it good and hard, it might have responded and not required that last cross haul. Underhand chop, the premier event. Everybody loves to chop, and choppers love to chop. Good full swing. Nice reach, nice knee snap, good timing. Accelerate that axe right at the very end of the swing. Looks like the pattern is going well. Nice turn, nice powerful hit on the turn, right on the line. Good pattern. Keeping the angle at the driver shots at the end to break it is very, there we go. Good chop. Relatively inexperienced men's team here. It does take 2 full years, and ideally you can talk someone into getting a second degree and staying for 3 years at Finger Lakes. All of the other schools are 4-year programs, and it gives them quite an advantage when it comes to the necessary time to build up skills. Get that bottom wood, drive it, hang it out the bottom. Keep the angle. He's going straight in, right toward the end. You've got, and it's so tempting to want to go straight through it at the end, but keep the angle and drive the angle. Hit it again. One more hit. Two 12-inch logs and one 10-inch log. It's the way they came off the lathe. Staying on top of the log is a challenge. Good, nice deep angle hit. Good pattern. Pattern is just right. clear the wood out. He could drive that right now, and I guess he's choosing to do so. Did it. Well done. Splitting, unfortunately, is conditioned by the quality of the wood. The reason that Woodsmen's events are not suitable, look at that axe, bounce right off that piece of wood. That says there's some pretty ugly knots and forks inside. When the axe bounces off like that, it's just not a friendly piece of wood. The Olympic Committee says no woodsman contest for the Olympics. It's got to be a matter of people against people, not luck of the draw for the wood, which in this case was seriously bad luck. That might be the ugliest piece of splitting wood I've ever seen on a field.
Don't hit it that way. Try and slam it off. Slam it off sideways. You're hitting into the knot.
Slam it sideways, dude. Slam it sideways.
There you go. All right.
No, go to the side.
Come on, John.
John, go like this with it.
Just hit it.
There you go. Perfect.
Get that one piece off, man.
We had last spring meet at Cobleskill. Finger Lakes men's A team finished in a phenomenally quick time. It wasn't a dot split as this is, it was a barrel stuff. Unfortunately, the holes in the barrels were a different size, and they decided the only fair thing to do was to eliminate the entire event. Our gentlemen had won it hands down. They practiced really hard. No secret, practice improves. More practice makes you better. And intentional practice. Can you get one of the other red ones into two? Well, you need 4 pieces of wood from each log with a little bit of the, in this case, red dot on one end. Trying to talk him into finding one of his other pieces with a dot on it and split that one instead of this ugly one, but then he got it there. Another ugly piece when the axe just bounces right off. Try driving an axe into a green stump and it pops right out, and you can't even begin to stick it in. This wood is might as well be green stumps.
Just hit it. Dig. One more on that.
He's to this side. He's to this side. Should have
This side.
There you go.
One more.
Painful.
Nice shot.
Let's go, Charles. Let's go, Charles. Does that have a piece on it?
Put it open with your hand.
1, 2.
Oh, look at that thing, dude. That's disgusting.
Turns out in one of these hits, a little fragment goes flying up. There's the inside of the log there, a branch holding the whole thing together. And a fragment you'll see flying off in behind Charles the chopper. There it is right there. That had red on it. He had 4 pieces, didn't know it. A little close-up of the wood. When the axe bounces out 3 or 4 times, you know you're in for a challenge. At this stage, my camera battery died, and my not-so-smartphone lacking audio picked up a few final fragments of the show. The singles relay with 1 stick of the thrown axe, followed by a chainsaw sequence, singles pulp toss, single buck run, and ending with an underhand chop, I missed almost entirely. The FLCC Jack and Jill team did earn the #1 position with a whole lot more cheering than you can hear. The relatively inexperienced FLCC men finished a very respectable 3rd place behind Alfred State College and Paul Smith College.